Hi, welcome back to Silly Tarot. It is great to see you all here again. I had actually hoped to have a video out sooner, but life is crazy and a lot of things have been going on, so here we are now. So I have been meaning to record a message for the spring equinox that has just passed, and over the course of the past few days, kind of like leading up to and passing over the equinox, I had this message that has kind of been continuously rattling around in my brain. And that message has been death of the old sun, rise of the new. And since I started kind of like getting the message on my own, I've also been seeing it, or similar phrasing, coming up in other people's readings and messages as well over the past couple of days, which has been very interesting. So I decided, let's do a reading, let's pull some cards about it. So beforehand, I pulled 3 oracle cards, and I have here the guide, inheritance and correction, the forgotten, missed opportunities and fear of failure, and the air, unseen potential and hesitation. And I'm sorry, I know these cards are reflective and that it bounces the light off of it all the time. I will get better at that at some point. I will. Regardless. So I was sitting with the cards for a minute before I had started this, and the message that for me was really coming through was that there was a time in our life in which we, and the collective that I'm speaking to, whoever is resonating with this message here, the message that I'm getting is that there was maybe a time in our life where we feel as though we maybe missed an opportunity because of a fear of failing. And there was maybe something that we decided not to go forward with, and decided not to take that final step, perhaps, because even though we maybe like felt guided to do it, there was definitely this fear that, and if you look, I want to get kind of close to the center here. Ooh. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Yeah, you can see now. You see how the eye on the chest there is closed? The lighting is very weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Sorry. Anyway, you can see him kind of diving down into this shadow space here. And it was very interesting because this says over here, unseen potential, you know? And so it feels as though there was kind of this potential that was maybe not realized at the time. And there was a sense of having lost out. And maybe we felt like the opportunity was never going to come around again because we missed it, you know? And when I was looking at this card with this big eye at the bottom here, the phrase that kept going through my mind was, even if your eyes are closed, something else is always watching. Does that make sense? Some part of you is always watching. Now, I don't know exactly what that is for everybody, but we're gonna continue getting into it. I also was getting from this card here, there's this lyric that has kind of been sticking in my brain. It's, too many swallowed keys will make you bleed internally someday. You see all the keys on the wall. And that is from The Love You Want by Sleep Token. Yes. And that lyric is very interesting because in line with this message, I kind of feel as though this idea of swallowed keys, you know, um, and unseen potential. So if the keys are, you know, keys open doors, and if we feel like there are all these doors that are unopened and the keys are just piling up, piling up, piling up, there can be this sense of ache, you know, ache in the pit of your stomach, you know, like something that you're missing, something that you haven't done, something that you haven't gone forward with it, you know. Um, and I I'm really getting with the equinox coming through, the spring equinox, um, and the air card. So here we have the air, and here on the bottom of this card we have inheritance, right? So there's definitely the sense of something that is meant for you, something that is part of your path in particular, that something that we feel like we lost out on. But the paradox that lies here is that you can't you cannot eternally lose out on something that is meant to be for you. Okay? That's why we have the heir. You are meant to inherit it. So, we're going to pull some tarot cards, and we're going to see what... We're going to get deeper into the message. That's what we're going to do. So, okay, well, I started shuffling for about 0.2 seconds, and the first card to fall out into my hand is the sun. So, we're already circling back to the phrase at the beginning, death of the old sun, rise of the new, coming into the spring equinox. Now, 3 other cards also fell out into my hand. So we have the Ten of Wands in reverse, the Ace of Cups, and the Five of Swords. So immediately, let's just talk about some of the symbolism here that I find interesting. First of all, the worms on this card. We just had the eclipse during the worm moon, so immediately that's standing out to me as significant. Now, in terms of these two here, so this Ten of Wands in reverse is really speaking to me about having pulled ourselves out of a really difficult place recently. Maybe learning a very difficult lesson. And it has led to this feeling of there being a lot of conflict kind of ramping up. And that it is coming from this sense of unfulfillment. This sense of, because we have missed out on the opportunity, it feels as if something is building. And what we're actually building to is this Ace of Cups here, and we will come back to the sun. But this Ace of Cups here is very interesting to me because if you look at the cards, or not the cards, the colors, and I'm going to try to show it in a way that the light doesn't obscure them, we have like blues and purples here, and then some orange and yellow up here. And this is interesting to me because the blue here reminds me of the throat chakra, and the setup that we have with the cards here is really bringing the witch wound to mind. So if maybe some of you have been dealing with issues surrounding your throat chakra, surrounding being able to speak your truth and being able to express yourself genuinely, honestly, express who you are, maybe express what your craft is to other people. If there has been a lot of struggle around that lately, I think that may have something to do with this feeling of like a missed opportunity. That it may have something to do with a difficulty with the self-expression, because this yellowy orange is really speaking to me about the solar plexus. So self-expression, you know, and if we're not able to marry these two things, then we're not able to fill the cup. We're not able to feel this sense of the sun, this fulfillment, you know? And we're gonna get some more cards on that, actually. Let's talk some more about that. Pull this card here. Can I get a couple more cards on this Ace of Cups card? Okay. So immediately more orange and yellow. So we have the Ace of Wands in reverse and the Mother of Wands. The snake here guarding her eggs. So with the Ace of Wands in reverse, I'm getting this idea of like all of the energy kind of like exiting out of us instead of flowing up and expressing. And that with this Mother of Wands, that this may have come from a sense of guardedness, of really feeling like we need to protect our, I mean, it could be really anything for anyone. It could be, if we're talking about the witch wound here, this is probably going to be showing up in a difficulty talking about your practice to other people, sharing that you have a practice at all, whether it's that you also do tarot, whether it's that you consider yourself a witch, if you consider yourself an occultist, a practicing magician, any kind of whatever you are, to be here. I think a lot of us often have trouble getting that out there in a genuine way, and also doing so in a way that doesn't downplay what we've worked on, to be where we are and to be able to have the skills to read the cards or to do whatever it is that you do. Maybe you channel, maybe you, I don't know, whatever it is that you do. It can be hard to step into that authenticity and feel comfortable in it. And so this sense of missed opportunity here is, I think, really coming from feeling like we have been very guarded in the past, and that this has led to periods of time in our life where we saw other people maybe taking on opportunities that we would have been interested in being a part of. And maybe at the time we weren't ready to be in that level of authenticity and be that open about who we are and what we are interested in and what we can do, you know, what our skills and our talents are. Maybe you're an artist, you know, of some kind. You write, you paint, you draw, you read, you do poetry, I don't know. You know, maybe there was a point in time in which we weren't ready exactly. And seeing other people stepping into that felt like failing, felt like that self-imposed fear of failure, which loops into the failure, the perception of the failure, you know. And this idea that maybe it's not actually meant for me, because if it was, I would be there, you know, I would be where they're at, you know, I would be there with them already, you know. And I think that it's really important to remember that everything is a journey, and that it is okay to not be there in that moment. And that doesn't mean that it's not meant for you, that it is not something that you aren't meant to inherit, that you are not being guided towards it. It doesn't mean, like, you don't have all these keys for no reason, okay? It's not meant to stay forgotten. Whatever it is that you have to share with the world, whatever it is that you have going on, it's not meant to stay forgotten just because you feel guarded. At that point in time, it was those people's time because they were ready. That doesn't mean that the door is closed forever. That doesn't mean that now isn't your time, that you can't be ready now, and that the universe cannot provide a million billion experiences that are exactly in line with what you are trying to do. And that just because you missed 1, 2, 3, whatever opportunities way back whenever, doesn't mean shit about now. Doesn't mean that there are not other opportunities. I'm going to pause this for a moment and sip my orange juice, and I will be back. I've sipped my orange juice. We're going to pull some more tarot cards. This is not going to be that long of a reading. I think the message is mostly coming through very directly, but it's one card. Could I get, like, maybe 2 more? Cards, maybe, perhaps. It's 3 cards, but I will take them, I guess. Okay. We have the Lovers. We have the Mother of Swords. The Father of Wands. The Five of Cups. So what I'm seeing here, first of all, with these two here, the Lovers and the Mother of Swords, I'm seeing that in order to get to this place where you feel like you can be, what comes to mind is in union with your art, where you can be open about what it is that you do and create and are out in the world, you know, flying high, flying free, and all that. Sorry, I love a visual metaphor, if you couldn't tell already. I think it has really come through a period of learning how to set boundaries, of learning how to manage this energy here, so how to temper your energy in the sense of learning where to give it and where not to give it, so that you have the energy to put forward into what it is that you actually want to do. Because that doesn't always come easily to everybody. Sometimes that's a process too. Sometimes you want to do the things that you care about, and it still feels like you are unable to devote the time and the energy for it because you just don't have it. And when you ask yourself, why don't I have it? It's usually just a matter of it's going somewhere else already. So I think there's been a big need to understand how to redirect that. Perhaps kick some habits, perhaps change some others. I don't know what that looks like for any of the rest of you, you know. And to set boundaries even with probably people in your life. To know where it is that you want certain people to be in your life, and to know when they're good for you and when they're not. And to be able to manage this energy, because this is ultimately going to be your creative energy and what you use to do what it is that you do, okay? And that we've had to kind of also give up on this sad Five of Cups, sad horse energy here that we have, where it's just like, oh, woe is me, it'll never happen for me. It'll never happen. I'll just keep my head in the ground, in the void, in the dirt, in the dust. It's never ever gonna happen. Well, it is. I'm so sorry, but it is. I would like to get a couple more oracle cards, and I think we'll probably cut it after this. That's one card. That's another card. All right. We have the Witch and the Sailor. Experimentation and rebellion. Those are hands. I know they're whited out. It's hard to see. Those are hands. We have the Sailor, new influences and wanderlust. Those are fish. I didn't have to say that, but regardless. The Witch and the Sailor. So, I think what this is really speaking about to me is that we've really needed to fuck around and try new things and give ourselves the space to experiment and to really be open about what is it that I want to do, what is my process going to look like, and then breaking every single one of those rules and expectations for ourselves. Because at the end of the day, making some kind of art or doing your passion or doing whatever it is that you're trying to do is not going to look like what you think it's going to look like, and you should just do it, and you should just see what happens, and can refine it as you go and after the fact. But the important thing is that you do it, and this is what's going to bring you into these new opportunities. And if you look up there, I don't know about you, but to me that looks like a sun. Here's your new sun. Yeah, it's a sun. At least I'm fairly certain it is. Regardless, this being willing to accept the new experiences for what they are and not knowing what they're going to be ahead of time and just saying, fuck it, I'm going to go in and do it, is what is going to get you into a new mindset and a new point of attraction, a new place of, I don't know what the words are for this. I'm going to pull another oracle card instead. What are the words for what I'm looking for? Ooh, okay. The Hound in reverse. Loyalty, chains, and promises. Well, we did start off with Death of the Old Sun. So, what these new influences are going to really do is they're going to be able to, they're going to help you break those old chains that you're still attached to. They're going to bring you into a place where they don't feel like they're a whole lot of anything anymore. Because when you step into this energy here with the witch and the experimentation, and you just let your process happen, what you're going to find is the things that were chaining you, which are probably just your expectations, to be completely honest with you, are not shit, not really anything. It's just an expectation. Here you are now in the moment, doing it. Is that not the point? Is that not the most important thing? So, anyway, I think that about covers the message. Death of the old sun, rise of the new. Happy spring equinox. If you would like to contact me for a personal personal reading, you can DM me on Instagram at Silly Tarot. I will leave a link in the bio of this video, the description of this video. I'm new at this. I'm sorry. Bear with me. I'm gonna keep saying that for a while, but it doesn't matter. You just have to bear with me, or you can also leave. But, you know, it's kind of up to you. I would like to see you back, though. It would be great if you came back. I'll be back. And I'll see you when that happens. Have a good one. Bye.